Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope with God's grace you all are fine. Let us begin our digitally session for the academic year 2020-21 with our subject Social Science of class 7th. Here we see our first chapter, two big states. That means two big states, that is clear. We're going to see about two states of ancient time period. That is first number one Kanauj, and later we're going to see that is of second Vatapi. So Kanauj, about Kanauj and Vatapi we are going to see. With the Kanauj here, name of king given, King Harshvardhan, that picture also given. Now we see in details with that. King Harshvardhan was born in 606. That means his birth he got in birth in 606. Then time period of Harshvardhan 606 to 647. After the death of his father Prabhakar Vardhan, Harshvardhan's elder brother Rajyavardhan ascended the throne of Thaneshwar. That means after his father's death, his elder brother took all the responsibility of the kingdom, Thaneshwar. However, Rajyavardhan was killed by the king of gods Sashank. Their sister Rajyashri was imprisoned by the king of Malwa, Devgupta. So his elder brother Rajyavardhan was killed by king of gods Sashank, and his sister Rajyashri got kidnapped by the king of Malwa, Devgupta. Under this circumstance, as advised by the leaders of the kingdom, Harshvardhan shouldered the responsibility of Thaneshwar. After all circumstance, and because with that all the leaders of his kingdom advised him to take the responsibility of the Thaneshwar, and at present that is Punjab, Haryana. Next paragraph. Immediately after ascending the throne, he decided to free his imprisoned sister Rajyashri. So after taking all the charge, first work he had done that to make free his sister Rajyashri. In the meanwhile, she had escaped from the clutches of Devgupta and run away into Vindhya forest. So while that time, before he escaped, before he make his sister free, she herself get the free from the grip clutches of Devgupta and ran away into the Vindhya forest. He went in search for his sister, and with the help of the people living in forest. So Harshvardhan started searching his sister with the help of the people living in the forest. And a Buddhist hermit, Divakar Mitra, he stopped her from committing sati. Then the Buddhist hermit saint named Divakar Mitra stopped her from committing a sati. Since Rajyashri's kingdom Kanauj, that is at present Uttar Pradesh, was without any king at that time, there was no any king at that time in the Kanauj, so Harshvardhan became his ruler. Then after Harshvardhan took the charge of the Kanauj, later he defeated Devgupta, the king of Malwa, and then he defeated the Devgupta also, the king of Malwa. As part of his preparation to launch an attack on Sashank, the god king, he formed an alliance with the king of Kamrup, that is Asham, Bhaskar Varman. That name of that king of Kamrup is Bhaskar Varman. So he had done the preparation for attacking on Sashank with the help by taking with the help of king of Kamrup, Bhaskar Varman. With the help of large army, he defeated God King. So he got the victory over the God King, and he won most of the major part of his kingdom. He also conquered Malwa and Saurashtra, but was unsuccessful in defeating Pulkeshi II, king of the Chalukya dynasty of South India. So later he got victory over Malwa and Saurashtra, but he got unsuccessful in defeating the Pulkeshi II, that is the king of Chalukya dynasty of South India. After 7 successive victorious years, Thaneshwar emerged as a large kingdom in North India. Then after 7 years victory, Thaneshwar became as a large kingdom of North India. Now next topic we going to see Harshvardhan's reign and administration. That means Harshvardhan hold charge of taking the duty and responsibility of his administration. Harshvardhan personally supervised the administration of his state by traveling extensively to different parts of his empire. He personally supervised, observed the administration work of his part of whole entire empire. He divided his daily routine into three parts. First was for administrative purpose, while the other two parts were devoted to public welfare and religious activity. So he had divided his whole daily schedule in three parts for administrative purpose, for second remaining two parts for given for the public welfare and for the religious activity. He was so diligent in carrying out his administrative responsibility at that time. That means he was so diligent. Diligent means he was so hardworking in carrying his all administrative responsibility. He even forget to have his meal. Sometimes he gets so busy with this all work, so he forget to take his food also. Now down next topic, that is a picture given handwriting of Harshvardhan. Now turn the page. Let's we see things to know box. To help in the administration, Harshvardhan had commander-in-chief of the army for all this administration work, and that all he had made one committee that in that all members are commander-in-chief of army, Parthihara, that is Dwarpal, Sangvigrahaka, that is a foreign minister, Rajdut, ambassador, Paryarajya Mantri, Mahadandanayaka, Chief Justice, and Akshar Patrika, that is registrar. So these all are the members who are helping him in the administrative work. Now we see more imprints left by Harshvardhan. All good work and that all social, publicly welfare work, whatever work he had done, that we see now. Harsh built many rest houses, wells, step wells, lake, mathas and virhas, and also prohibited animal slaughter. You can note down the meaning of slaughter, that means stopped animal killing. So he done all this public welfare work, built many rest houses, wells, step wells, lakes, mud and virhas for the public. Every year he organized Buddhist religious meet. Every year he organized a Buddhist religious meet, one get together of Buddhist religious, and every 5 years he organized a huge religious congregation at Prayag, and then every 5 years he organized huge, very big religious meet, get together at Prayag. There he would donate generously till his entire treasury was emptied, and would even give away the ornaments he would be wearing at that time. It means that in the religious meet he do charity very wholeheartedly till his entire funds get emptied, and even also he gave away all the ornaments wore at that time. That much he is a noble hearted person. Now we see more. The great Sanskrit poet and writer Banbad adorned his court. He was a main famous person, Sanskrit poet and writer at that time in his court, Banbad. His famous work, Harscharit and Kadambari, was famous even today. His famous book that is written by Banbad, poet by Banbad, Harscharit and Kadambari, it is famous even today. We come to know about many important aspects of King Harshvardhan's reign from Harshcharitra. So we can get a more details point about the King Harshvardhan's administration and that all details point of him from the book Harshcharitra. King Harsha himself was a writer and wrote 3 plays, Naganand, Ratnavali and Priyadarshika. Dear students, from this paragraph you will get many objective types questions from this. So please you remind it well properly, hold this paragraph, you understand it. King Harsh himself was a writer and he wrote many 3 plays. It can be asked in the fill in the blanks or short answer also. So name of his 3 plays: Naganand, Ratnavali and Priyadarshika. Now it's given one map, Harshvardhan's empire, that is a rule of Harshvardhan. Now next page we see about Emperor Harshvardhan's empire. So under that, Nalanda University, King Harsh extended all possible assistance to Acharya Shilbhadra and made Nalanda into a world famous university. So he had extended help with taking all possible way, help to the Acharya Shilbhadra and make the Nalanda University famous all around the world. The university had access to the revenues of 100 villages given to them by King Harsh for its upkeep and maintenance. So university get a help from all the revenue, all the income of 100 villages that will given by King Harsh for upkeeping and maintenance for the development of the society, for the development of the university. Renowned chemist Acharya Nagarjuna, who proved that iron, arsenic and mercury ash could be used as medicine, also belonged to Nalanda University. Then also renowned chemist named Acharya Nagarjuna, who proved that iron, arsenic, mercury ash, that all can be used as a medicine, also belong to the such Nalanda University. So here next picture of Nalanda Vidyapith, Nalanda University given in the picture 1.4. Now we see things to know. Student had to clear an entrance test for admission into Nalanda University. So for that entrance test they have to give for taking admission in the Nalanda University. Free education, lodging and boarding were provided in Nalanda University. So after taking entrance tests they are clear, then there will be a free education, all hostel and that all facilities are provided in the such university. The extensive library of Nalanda University was known as Dharma Ganj. So the name of that library of Nalanda University is known as Dharma Ganj. It also can be asked as an objective types questions. Now turn the page. Now we'll see the next topic about the life of the people of during Harshvardhan's time period. Information about the reign of King Harsh is available from the writing of Chinese traveler Yun Seng. All the administration and that all point of King Harshvardhan we get from the book that is written by Chinese traveler Yun Seng. Here T is silent, so you can pronunciate it Yun Seng. Towns and villages of the time were fortified and had huge gateways at their entrance. So there is a good protection for the towns and villages. There is a huge wall like they're made and their gateways are kept for the entrance. The society was divided into 4 groups, while the Parda system and intercaste marriages were not prevalent at that time. At that time these all antisocial, these all systems are not there, Parda system and intercaste marriages and that not. But the custom of sati, child marriage and polygamy started at that time. The local diet consisted of milk and milk products, wheat, rice, fruits and vegetable. So local diet of the people is milk and milk product, wheat, rice, fruits and vegetable. They wore clean, simple white clothes. Men wore dhotis and women wore sari. This is the outfit of the people. Men wore dhotis and women wore sari. Their ornaments like rings, bangles, bracelets, necklaces that were made from the flowers. Chess and games of dice were popular means of entertainment. So popular, most famous means for entertainment for them, that is chess and games. Acrobats and conjurers wandered from village to village for entertaining the people. So conjurers and therefore they will wander from street to village for giving entertainment to the people. Farming and animal husbandry were the main occupation of the people. So main occupation of the people of at that time, farming and animal husbandry. Land revenue was 1/6 of the production. Their land income and that was 1/6 of the production. Internal and international trade was carried out by the Vaishyas. That means the Vaishyas means merchant traders, those who doing the business internally in the country, and international trade, that persons, that Vaishyas, that are called. A highway from Patliputra to Bruga, Kutch, that is now at Bharuch port, was built by the state for trade and transportation of goods. For doing international business, there is a Bharuch at Bharuch port. It is built for the state for trade and transportation of goods. Next paragraph. Gold and silver coins were used for commercial transaction. So at that time, for commercial transaction, golds and silver coins were used. Ornaments, statues, ivory and carved wooden pieces were exported. So these all things are exported to the different countries. The export of different materials from India increased her prosperity, and the export of all these different materials and that all things that increase the development prosperity of our country. Her prosperity means for prosperity of our country India. During the reign of King Harsh, India had good business relation with Rome, which led to the inflow of gold in India. And during the administrative time of King Harsh, India had a good relation with the business relation with Rome, which led to the good inflow of gold in the India. People followed Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism, but were tolerant towards other religions too. So mainly these three religions are there: Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism, and they are also tolerant towards the other religions. Now we see the picture of 1.5. Hyun Seng, Chinese traveler, who wrote more about the Harshvardhan in his book. And next, route of Hyun Seng's India tour. Now we see about some more information of Hyun Seng. Hyun Seng time period 629 to 645. The Chinese traveler Hyun Seng visited India during her reign and studied Buddhism at Nalanda for 5 years. So Chinese traveler Hyun Seng visited India and stayed at Nalanda University for studying Buddhism for 5 years. Now we see things to know. Hyun Seng stayed in India for 15 years and visited different places. Actually, total 15 years in India he stayed, but out of 15 years, 5 years he stayed at Nalanda University for knowing more details about Buddhism religion. He has described the social, political and religious condition of that time. In 645, he returned to China via Central Asia and took with him many books, relics and statues. So he collected many materials, books, literature, and he returned to China via Central Asia. During his stay, he attended the 6th Buddhist religious congregation at Prayag. So while he remained in India at that time, he attended the 6th Buddhist religious meet, that is get together at Prayag. Now we see Hyun Seng has noted that there were 100 Buddhist mathas in Harsh kingdom. So he noted in his book that total 100 Buddhist mathas are there in the time of the Harsh kingdom. People lived a simple, pious and peaceful life based on living by rules of good moral conduct and justice. So at that time the lifestyle of people were with nature, they are very simple. Pious means they are very religious people. They believe more in God. Peaceful life based and moral ethics. They are very good moral ethics and justable persons, people. cheating and breach of promise were considered sinful. It means that violation of any promise or any duty, if they will do, then it is cheating. If they will do, then it is considered as a very sinful. It is considered as a very immoral at that time. So dear students, here we have seen all the topic about the state Kanauj of King Harshvardhan time period, and about Vatapi, next second states Vatapi, that we will see in detail in our next video class. I hope till that time you will keep all the thorough revision of all the points, time periods, achievements, lifestyle of people, all the travelers, and that all things, all the points about King Harshvardhan in detail, and read thoroughly each and every points with that. So remind that all points, keep in your mind, and we will see in the next video about the second state Vatapi. Here we conclude our class. Thank you, students.